Take it easy.
Oh,
I
sorry.
was in love with you. And
She'd
I
have-
know that was a setup for this, because he knows the truth is, when he was in Godspell, I used to kiss his picture in
That's
the
true.
program.
That's true.
I was in high
Mhm.
school, and I went to see Marty in Godspell, who was barely out of high school himself.
Mhm.
And I used to kiss, after I saw the show, I'd be at home and I'd privately kiss the picture of Martin Short from the program of Godspell.
And then what she also did, which she's not going to tell you about, then she'd set the program up against the dresser and slowly started dressing in front of it.
Does this please you, Marty? I would ask.
Picture of
Somehow
Marty.
your face would change to a brighter,
It was like
even
this.
brighter smile.
It was like this.
Is that your same pose you're still doing?
Yeah.
Did
It
you
was
have
like
that same?
at a Godspell hat.
You had the same picture of the producers program.
Yeah.
The exact same picture.
Yeah, nothing much has changed. Certainly not the act.
Mm.
No, to be quite honest, Catherine, who everyone, and this is true, fell madly, madly in love with. And I mean
So sad.
everyone.
This is like Don Knotts and Aunt Bee. Same this. Everyone loved Aunt Bee on the set.
Francis, babe, your turn. Everybody on Goober.
Oh, I had them all. Oh, now.
Otis. Remember that time you went down on Otis?
For a week?
He was coming in with a drum and lock himself in the cell. No, everyone had a huge crush on Catherine. They did. And she was a tease in those days. But, you know, she was so
sincerely
young.
meant it.
You're so young. She was, you know, again, I was 22. She was 17.
I didn't know I was teasing.
Yeah, you were teasing
I
everybody.
thought I was just making out and then saying no.
In a good Catholic way.
Yeah.
But everyone had a crush on Catherine because she was kind of just so funny. And I think that men are always attracted to funny women.
Oh, wow, that is so wrong. I think guys had a crush on me until they laughed at something I said and found out that I might be funny, because men are not attracted to funny women.
I don't think that's true. Okay, I'm going to give you an example.
You know, that's the end of this then.
No, okay.
We've nowhere to go from here.
Imogene Coca and King Donovan.
We're definitely talking about another
Yeah, oh,
yeah, name somebody now.
Oh, okay. Nicholson and
Now.
May. Oh,
Now.
now.
He's not, is he with, no, Diane Sawyer.
Stiller.
Ah, funny?
We met in 1972. Catherine was enchanting and so talented, and for me personally, a huge influence. Because when I would go to,
I love this, but it's just a sad lie, but I love it. Go on.
it's not a lie. Because when I would go to Second City and see Catherine, like she would do a piece like Trucker, which was about two truckers. You know, Catherine would do any character, and I was fascinated by how many laughs and how funny and deeply funny she was without doing any jokes. And I think that that was a very Toronto Second City signature, as opposed to Chicago, which was a little more political. Oh, the deficit. Oh, the deficit.
That's right.
It kept on growing every year. You know, they were doing that stuff. And,
Full of references.
yeah.
Yeah.
And well-crafted, and Canada was just more clown-like, but based on real people, because often there were people that they had known, the cast members that had known that they would bring in, and
It was
they
the
would
best
just do
job for
impersonations.
that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the best job for, you know, like you were talking about Judy earlier, riding the subway and seeing somebody on the subway.
Yeah,
And
she'd
then-
sketch.
Yeah, giving that as a character look to you. But that was so great for all of us at Second City Theatre, being able to, you know, ride the streetcar that day.
Or Sharon
take cab,
Penny, for
go out
example. Do you remember
shopping,
Sharon Penny?
meet someone on the street. Yes, like Sharon.
This is a
A
woman,
look that no one will ever see on film.
but she was a woman that you actually knew.
Yeah.
And what did she say?
Lived a few doors away from my husband. She says, my name's Sharon, you can call me Penny. This is my husband Dave, you can call him Ross. They both had aliases. Alias.
Why do they have aliases?
Made them interesting and mysterious. Marty came in to Second City to a show that I was in already, and we had these scenes like, you know, that they're written by one guy or woman in the cast, right? You write, because you write your scenes at Second City Theatre from the improvs that you do, and you build a show as you run one show, you build the next show with your improvs. And so all these scenes were created by the cast, and then one of the guys left, and Marty took his place, so he stepped into that guy's roles that guy had created. One of them was a very serious detective in a scene where a woman's been raped. Oh man, this used to just, it'd be a nice pall over the audience when we did this scene. And I would come in as a woman who'd been raped to a group of detectives, and they'd ask, what happened. I had to, reenact it for them, tell them what happened, and I'm all upset, and they're getting hard-ons as the story progresses.
Just a perfect 1970s second city.
And they all these guys, they played it really straight, but funny, because they sincerely couldn't help getting excited. And the woman has no idea what's going on. And Marty joined the cast and joined that scene as Columbo.
Excuse me, I'm a little confused.
You know what the difference was? The scene got laughs. Suddenly the scene got laughs.
No, I cheapened it up.
And the other scene we did where we were playing immigration and the government, no, the other, I'm thinking immigration, where the government had come up with a game show to let an immigrant in each day.
Oh, yeah,
they did a game show.
Uh-huh.
It was run by Immigration Canada. And we had an East Indian and I don't know what else. And who were you playing?
Ed Grimley. Yeah.
Ed Grimley from?
Can't remember.
Yeah, maybe the United States. Where would Ed Grimley be from as a foreigner? The Immigration Canada.
From Iceland, I must say.
That's right. And at the end of the, so we're all like doing our characters. And at the end of the immigration game show, the host would put his hand over our heads for the audience to vote for what immigrant should be allowed into Canada. And every night he would win. And we go, oh, it's because he's going third. It's a case of 1, 2, 3. If I was third, I'd win. So put him second.
What a weird. It was like a popularity contest. That was a weird thing to do. Yeah.
But it still is, and you're still winning.
Yeah. And then, then we also did a scene that she and Dave Thomas had written called Marriage Counselor. And for about a week, we could not get through the scene without laughing.
The least professional couple.
Awful. It was awful. And then I tried to do the scene. If you're the audience, I'd try to do it where I wouldn't look at Catherine. I'd look like this, and she'd lean forward to try to meet my eye, and that was terrible. Yeah. And then one night I stopped the scene. I said, look, ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry. This is unprofessional.
Yeah. And I tried to stay in character. I don't know who you're speaking to, young man.
Yeah.
Well, who are you talking to?
Right. And Joe Flaherty had directed this stage show. It was called Once More with Fooling. And he had directed it, and then we went to a party afterwards. I remember he heard that I had stopped the scene, and we started again, and he got mad, because it was so non-Second City to do it. And he said, Marty, get over here, you cheap Sammy Davis.
Tear down the fourth wall. Yes, he asked the audience to oblige us that we were having such a good time we need to start over in there.
Did you start the scene over?
We started the whole scene over.
Did you take our feelings into consideration? Because we're not having such a good time.
No, they loved it, because then there was knock, 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 and I heard Catherine laughing behind the door already again. And then the audience was laughing. Now they were in on the joke. We did in Second City stage, we did a funny piece called My Way. And the premise was that I was Sinatra, and I'd come out and I'd sing My Way. Remember I had that cheap hairdo where
I did it for you.
Yeah, like a toupee look.
Pin up this part. It's a good trick. Try this at home. You pin up the front part of your hair, or spray it up, and then comb the hair behind it over, and it's a perfect toupee look.
That's right.
Because it just sits atop the head. It doesn't match up with your flesh.
Because I used to have at Second City stage in Toronto, I used to have like a water dish, remember? And I would get people to try to help me with my new hairdo between scenes, and everyone else would just be like smoking a cigarette and looking at me like I was nuts. And so I would come out as Frank Sinatra, and she was a drunk woman, loving Frank.
A loving heckler.
A loving heckler. Oh, at one point you said, oh, Frank, you had Ava Gardner, you let her go. And I'm singing, and I'm going, my way. And the last thing I did is I kicked Catherine in the face, and she'd do a flip on the chair and go right
off
back.
the back of the chair like that.
I always
every night.
That you would do that. I wouldn't do. I'd do lots of stunts. I wouldn't do that. It seems scary.
It made no sense. It was just fearless.
But they'd catch
fearless
you,
early 20s.
Yeah, they'd catch her falling back, being kicked in the face just as the lights went out. It was great. It was a funny scene, My Way. And then Catherine and I, of course, reunited for three shows at the end her last 3 shows before she left SCTV, and then she would come back occasionally for guest shows, usually at Christmas time.
You've admitted you don't love me. Here's your Christmas present. Gonna be a frosty snow girl. I'm gonna deck your halls. Wait till I shake your tree, boy. I'll break those Christmas balls. I know all about your angel under the mistletoe. But I think it's time you found out which way the cold wind blows.
It's Martin Scorsese's Jerry Lewis live on the Champs-Elysees. Yes, Lewis is back, and France has got him.
And dealing with your final thesis that the free market economy is hopelessly mired in atavistic theory, I can only reply by quoting G.K. Chesterton, who once said, "The truest gauge of a healthy economic system..."
All right, Bill.
"Is the freedom..."
Bill, that's enough. I believe you've made your point.
Let me finish, please. "With which the entrepreneur supplies the demand of his fellow monetarists." Now, would you not agree?
Yes, yes. You're right, Bill. You can write about everything all day. Gosh, it's all so clear now.
I'd just like to know where I went wrong with all this left-wing lunacy. It's your fault. You're the one who talked me into it.
You did. I'm sorry. Mr. Buckley is totally correct when he says our real economic strength is in the private sector. So much for that Schlemiel philosophy of mine. Bill, can you ever forgive me?
But we'd wanted Marty in the cast for a long time before that, hadn't we? But you were busy.
I was
we
doing
couldn't
those-
get you
I was
before
doing-
then.
I'm Big Girl now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing? Oh, that's great. Yeah, we'd wanted you for a long time. Everybody wanted you because everybody worked with you. You know, Godspell and Second City and everything. And everybody wanted Marty, but everyone wanted Marty.
Name my book.
But Marty wouldn't have us.
The days of the week.
Billy
Oh,
McKay.
Billy, yes.
Sweet,
Oh, that was
sweet,
great.
bland Billy.
I was Billy's mother.
You were Billy again, my mother.
Finally, a child for Catherine. If Catherine has a child in the show, she won't leave the show to try to get married and have children.
Yeah.
I think that was the idea.
Yeah.
Let's give her a child on the show, on camera. It'll be Marty.
Billy McKay.
Well, this is it, Clay. Billy, in case I don't get a chance to talk to you after the service, I just want to thank you for standing up for me, man.
Are you leaving right after the wedding?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Oh, you are a rascal.
Mama? Hi, it's Billy. I had no character. Remember?
And I was your mother. Billy's coming home soon, Mojo. Is he bigger? Will he be a lot bigger now, Mrs. McKay?
Will he be a lot bigger now, Mrs. McKay?
Will he be, remember her line coming up? Yes, he's a lot bigger, Mojo.
I don't remember.
Will he be bigger than a teacup? I learned how to do most of my impressions from Marty.
That's not true.
And they were all women.
Yeah.
Finally, it was a woman doing them.
I know. That was the new spin on it.
My Catherine Hepburn started as his Catherine Hepburn.
No, but I never did.
I was doing an imitation of Marty doing
I never
an
did
imitation
Catherine
of
Hepburn. I was just like at parties or something. I never did it anywhere.
But still, that's what I was going on.
No, but
I
you
got all my
you
real-
got the whole look. You got the whole
I am a
sitting in
woman,
there.
Marty.
Yeah, that part.
Katharine Hepburn tells us about her first time.
Oh, I won't say what year it was. That would be telling too much. I will say, though, that I've always believed that no matter my age, I'm young enough and old enough to do anything. It was in Baltimore, and I was playing a flapper in a production of The Cradle Snatchers, and there was this lovely old stagehand, a clean man, a good hard worker. We'd shared only friendly chit-chat till this day, and I didn't expect to have much in common with him, but I was intrigued, and it seemed somehow right to accept his offer. He suggested using the living room set right on the stage, but I feel the stage should be reserved for performing, and a performance was hardly what I had in mind. So he used my dressing room. I didn't like it at first. Of course, I didn't dare tell him that it wasn't exactly what he promised. But then I decided to relax. You've got to allow yourself time to acquire a taste for the finer things in life. And soon I did. And to this day, at least once a day, I enjoy a good, strong, hot cup of Twillings tea. It's refreshing, revitalizing, and it tastes wonderful.
Twillings tea, every time, is as good as the first time.
And then
Yeah, and somebody else, though.
you did Jerry Lewis, didn't you?
No. Hey! Yeah, before you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We traded. Okay. Actually, all my impressions or impersonations, when I was a kid, to entertain my dad, all my impressions were men.
Really?
I can't do it now, but I did James Mason. I was religious films, Genghis Khan. I did Alfred Hitchcock, Alfred Hitchcock, something like that. I was like 14. What's his name?
Pauline.
Pauline, thank you. God, I'm glad you got that. Was very kind. And
Hey,
then
I
I had another one. Oh, right here. Right here. All my impressions were guys. That's weird. Kindred spirits.
I travel a lot and really enjoy meeting my public. Over the years, I've gotten the reputation for having a very strong handshake. For some reason, this is a challenge to some people, and they'll wait by the stage door without even having seen the play and want to shake hands. They'll come up to me and want to shake hands and really lay on the vice. I really hate it.
No, my Elizabeth Taylor I got from you.
No, mine I got from you.
Oh, that completely
Totally
not
got
true.
from you.
Not true.
It
You
is
used to
true.
do that thing.
Oh,
he devoured.
No, yours was no. Yeah, I did. Though I tried to do those lines, but those were inspired by you saying, "Oh, hold me."
Oh, yeah.
That was yours.
Oh, hold me. I've been so lonely.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's as if they devoured. Hi.
Elizabeth,
See? It's better.
I love you with your breasts bobbling.
Oh, devour me.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the SCTV studios, bouncing back to you, it's Lola Heatherton.
Where did you develop Lola from?
We had a sketch spot because we were up
Skit
for an
spot.
award. Yeah, skit spot, a send-up spot on an award show in Canada because we were up for one of them. And the guys decided to do a talk show like Sammy Maudlin. I'd never done a Sammy Maudlin show, never had a character like that. So I had seen recently on TV before that, seen Lola Heatherton doing...
No, Joey.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's my character.
Was it Joey Heatherton or Lola Falana?
Where, no, Lola Falana.
Yeah.
Yes, had done some talk show and sang and had the trembling lip whenever she held a note.
Yes.
And Joey Heatherton had done the perfect sleeper, be a perfect sleeper, buy a perfect sleeper, buy Serta. So I stole basically her hairdo and the Lola Falana lip bit, and then just played a starlet. But it was that cheesy old trick of taking two names of two real people
Like,
and putting them together, a first name and a last name, put them together.
Lorna Minnelli.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met Joey Heatherton about 4 years ago backstage of a Nancy Sinatra concert. And she said to me...
Know you?
Yeah, she was very sweet. And she said to me, I'm a big fan of yours. And I said, well, I'm a big fan of yours. And she said, no, but I really am a big fan of yours. She's very hip.
That's great. I got a picture from her, signed to me, that she offered to a friend who we both know. And it was her in a netted sleeveless shirt, but completely netted with nothing else underneath. Yeah, an amazing breasts under it. And this face and saying, dear Catherine, try this. Ha ha.
Ha ha ha. Let's hear the Lola laugh. Yeah. I say 1, 2, 3.
I want to bury our children.
Catherine O'Hara,
Which is
everyone.
my brother Marcus's line.
He said
I
that?
Want to Bury Your Children. He did it to girls in bars, and it worked.
I got another. A long-time hooker decides to change her ways and follow the righteous path. First stop, church. So she dresses up in her Sunday best, a topless dress, and makes her way to Mass. But before she can get inside the door, the priest stops her and says, "You can't come in here like that, young lady." And she says, "Why not? I have a perfect right." And he says, "I know. You have a perfect left. You still can't come in here." The hell are you doing jumping the punchline?
Dusty Town.
Yeah.
Sylvia Town was a former U of T professor who became a dirty singer. A dirty singer. And her line was, after she'd tell a filthy joke, she'd say, "Isn't that cute? Isn't that true?" And I bought this record at Winchester and at a Chinese grocery store. I don't know why they sold this. Sylvia Town. And then Rusty Warren,
Yeah, knockers
anybody
up.
over a certain age knows, Dirty Lounge Act. So took the two names together. Yeah, Dusty Town. Love doing Dusty Town.
Oh.
And the first time I did it, used all my dad's jokes. What's your name? Virginia. Oh, I used to know Virginia. We called her Virgin for short, but not for long.
Just play the silence.
What about Roger? Experts have questioned, myself included, his ability to participate in so physical a sport. Some going so far as to cast aspersions on his manhood itself. And of course, the confident Julia Child. And there's the bell starting round one. But there!
I really was amazed that the process of writing in SCTV was that you would, put obviously something through a read-through, and there were such great funny minds that even if you got about 20 notes, and there'd be like 5 that made it 1,000% better. Mm-hmm. There was not one piece that I ever put in a read-through that I didn't think became better from hearing notes. And some of them wouldn't be applicable at all. Some of them wouldn't, especially when I was doing the Jackie stuff. Some people would just
Nobody
hate
understood
it.
Jackie.
No one did. And so,
Not until you'd see it. In read-through, it was always like, "Oh, just let him do it. You know it's going to be funny." Just let him do it. Because it would read so strangely.
But it would, that was the great thing about that process. It was, people trusted each other so much, and they trusted to not, wasn't there a 2-minute rule at one point?
What was that?
That if something was under 2 minutes, it just got in?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Why didn't anyone tell me that?
Set. Sorry, Bambolina. No room. What have I done? I've just passed up the girl of my dreams. I'm going back. Well, it's my fantasy. I can have any car I want. Spacious design, surprising affordability, and it's better for picking up too. Well, hello, pretty lady. What's your name?
Angelica, shall we go somewhere and have sex together?
I wrote in the middle of the night. I couldn't quite write in the offices. You sit around and goof off and come up with some ideas through conversation, and some might call it brainstorming, but we were goofing off. And
you'd like to stay up late.
Yeah, and I'd like to go home and write.
Right.
I kind of had to. I still have that way. Yeah, great. Okay, now let me go away and work on it. But then it was fun to work with people. I remember writing the Italian movie thing with Bob Dolman. We wrote our part, and then Joe wrote the other part. There was like 2 worlds in there, and he wrote the other world.
I was saying before,
like
I don't think we were taping, is that at certain read-throughs when Catherine or Andrew would feel that the men were ganging up on the women, then they'd both pout a little bit and they'd end up doing each other's hair.
Let's do something extra feminine.
I guess you should be doing your pigtails and just, all right? They're not going to listen to our comedy.
Did my hair.
I will do your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but
you'd
she
sit
said,
there.
well, you couldn't hear us. Fucking bastards. Fuck 'em. Don't listen. Don't cry. Don't cry.
Don't cry.
No, it's true. I'm glad I stayed around on SCTV long enough to be able to work with Genius Marty.
Now, Marty, say something nice.
Not about me. You already
I just love that I can look back at my body of work and say, I did that. Oh, and Catherine was so much fun.